I guess many people don't know. Humans have a long history. I haven't understood a single thing for thousands of years. In-depth communication between men and women and the birth of babies. They do these two things every day. But I'm confused about the principle behind it. I can only turn my head and observe the world around me. And the first ones were ridiculously simple. Humans can come out of the world, only not born to parents. This is the earliest form of mistaken cognition. In the most primitive stage, people believe that humans are directly mass-produced by nature. The main theme is that everything can make people. Tandy Mountain, stone tree, river water, and even wild dogs and boars running in their eyes, they can give birth to humans. Different tribes say it differently, but the kernel is the same. We are the daughter and son of nature. It's not my parents. In fact, I can understand. There was no biology. Who knows about the human body? If you don't understand, don't think about yourself. Staring at the outside world and wondering. Plants emerge from the ground. Animals emerge out of thin air. Trees can sprout on their own. Why can't humans do this? Back then, people didn't even ask me who my mother was. We'll only tear apart what made me. To put it bluntly, at this stage, has nothing to do with purity. Is a random drop from nature. With the development of matriarchal society, slowly to the next stage, people are finally enlightened. There must be a trigger switch for having a baby. They finally didn't believe people can jump out of stone trees. Instead, I felt that something had to happen to get pregnant. But here's the thing. The key operation still isn't deep communication. It's about contact. This enters the sensory cognition stage. People at that time generally felt only need to encounter something unusual. Pregnant. For example, touch a special object, eat a rare food, even bumped into some supernatural force. Some tribes say that you can have a baby by eating an egg. Others have stepped in the footprints of giants. There will be a surprise in 2 months. Put, no need at all. As long as a man touches the right thing. Unlock the baby skill. Mainly a self-reliance. That's actually quite an improvement. I used to think that life came out of nowhere. Now, at least I know there's a reason for having babies. Their ideas are also very simple. Nature makes people. Then, if I touch nature, I can definitely make people. They are one step away from the truth. But I just missed the most crucial point. Nobody associates deep communication with having babies. Pregnancy is no longer a random event. But people still don't get the essence of his understanding. Then the status of men and women reversed. Frequency is gradually rising. Men came to dominate the tribe. Women are also gradually becoming Once this transition occurs, people's perceptions of promotion have also changed. They no longer believe that women can have babies alone. I don't think you can get pregnant by touching nature. Instead, I slowly discovered almost all pregnancies, it all happens after a deep communication. Although not every in-depth communication immediately can be collided, but the connection is too strong. Finally, the two things were completely bound. From now on, deep communication is no longer just a physical act. It has become a necessary process for this giving enters the cognitive stage of sexuality. I used to be blind for so many years. From this point on, new problems have arisen again. The baby comes out of the mother's belly. Anyone can see that. But since men are also involved, which guy is that? No one cared about this until now. It's all tribal anyway. Baby. But at this point, this becomes a top priority. Why? Because once you have to determine who the child belongs to in depth, otherwise no one can tell who the father of the child is. Isn't the whole tribe messed up? After all, no one wants to raise a baby for someone else. In fact, it can be seen from some strange customs. One of the most bizarre things is the production of this custom in our country's southern minorities, Alpine people, and even American Indians. It is recorded among the Basques of the woman immediately gets out of bed to do housework. The man is lying at home, confinement. bedridden, holding a baby, imitate the state of the mother, diet and daily life, congratulations and care from relatives as if he was the one who gave birth to the child. At first glance, this operation is outrageous. But there's something going on behind it. Once people recognize the role of men, that connection has to be brought to the table. Mom's role is obvious. Dad's role is hidden behind. That's why men have to rely on this way to brush by observing these taboos. He's announcing to everyone that this baby is mine. Make no mistake, people at this stage, not just figuring out how to have a baby, thinking how to find a clear father for each child, focusing on a responsible Taoist. But even if the baby is born successfully, new questions come again. The little baby who was just born, is he a complete person? In the understanding at that time, not really. Childbirth is considered inexhaustible to evil, so the delivery room must not come and go at will. Some tribes will hang something on the door as a warning. Boy hanging stripe, raw girl hanging cloth. It means no visit. If something goes wrong during childbirth, no doctors. Only a dead horse can be by ritual artifacts or some symbol. Sexual action trying to help the baby be born. These operations now seem particularly absurd. But at that time, this is the only way to deal with the risk of no other choice. After the baby is born, there were no scissors in ancient times. People used stone knives, peach and bamboo slices, cut an umbilical cord properly. Wait for him to fall off naturally. People believe that the placenta and the baby are bound together. If it is not handled well, likely hurt children. It can also bring disaster to children. And it starts here. The plot becomes cruel. There was a particularly cruel custom in early societies, and it's one of the most misunderstood customs of our time. In fact, he is not simply bad. There is often a reason behind it. One of the reasons is particularly realistic. If the child is their own. In some feminist tribes, the first child a woman gives birth to after marriage, to be killed, just because no one can be sure. Is this baby this man's? This logic is cruel. But it made sense at the time. If you can't even figure out your father, child is not eligible to inherit the family property for tribal status, equivalent to black households. Another reason has to do with faith. People back then were very superstitious. Babies are born as a bad omen. Like having multiple births. Twin boys were born with deformities. Or a baby born in a taboo moment are considered unlucky. If you were born in a thunderstorm, or born on a forbidden day, this baby could be thrown away or even killed. Because people think that when such a child is born, the tribe is about to suffer. If the baby is lucky enough to be allowed to survive, what awaits him is a survival training. There were no schools, no books, no classrooms. The whole tribe is one big classroom. Everything I learn is in order to be Living starts at a young age. Kids have to start skills classes. The boy learns to hunt, farming, making tools. Girls learning to weaving health office, doing housework. They have to practice hardship. There's no room for laziness. It has to be taught at an early age because survival is never easy. You can't live without working hard. At the same time, they also have to learn the various rules of the tribe. Tell them exactly who they can marry. You can't marry anyone. To avoid consanguineous marriage, you have to learn the rules of kinship. Know which relationships should never be touched. The elders will start giving history lessons to the stories of our ancestors, tribal migration experience, and the big things that happened in the past. Through these stories, children can know where they came from. What are the rules to follow? How to gain a foothold in a tribe? Some people may ask, didn't the children have to play back then? Of course. But play wasn't just entertainment back then. It's more about imitating adult work. They play mud ball, simple toys like tops. Essentially, it is a skill to be used when you grow up. The main one is to learn while playing. So it was pretty straightforward. Watch others do it. Learn from others. Do it yourself. From being able to crawl and walk, they're already learning how to survive. Wait until a certain age. Growing up is not enough. Gotta get through the last hurdle. The bar mitzvah is this ceremony, transforming children into adults. Different tribes have different forms, but the purpose is the same. to test whether you can handle it or not. Just change into new clothes. It symbolizes growing up. And some tribes have more ruthless bar mitzvahs. Permanently modify the body. These rituals are often accompanied by pain. For example, in some tribes, young people have their teeth pulled out. It means never being a child again. Everyone can see their growth. In addition to that, adults may also include tattoos. Alone in the mountains, isolate hunger and other tests, focusing on suffering. To put it bluntly, it is to prove that you considered a true hardship. Only through this test, to have full rights in the tribe, can get married, can participate in tribal decision-making, become a respected member of the tribe. Well, that's it for today's prehistoric story. I feel knowledgeable. Sounds interesting. Please support it with 1 arrow and 3 companies.